On today's show, footballers' salaries. Do they deserve their big paychecks? The foreign invasion. What does this mean for the English game? Whilst the business side of football is making the headlines, where does this leave the supporters?
Let's make some music, make some money, find some bottles throughout. I'll move to Paris, shoot some heroin,
Welcome to a football edition of Sport Matters. Joining us today is Mark Ogborn, a council member from the Football Supporters Federation, Chris Hatcher, a semi-pro footballer, Mike Rowbottom, Head of Creativity and Culture at Bucks New University, and Keith Allen, Club and Company Secretary at Wycombe Wanderers. But first, it's fair to say that the wages at the top level of football are rising to an astronomical level, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop. But what are the repercussions, and is it morally right that they are earning all of this money? Sport Matters investigates.
Why do footballers get paid so much money? It's ridiculous. No way in the world should any footballer get around 30 grand a week, which is nothing in football nowadays, and up to over 100 grand in some cases for kicking a football. Some people even get up to 100 grand for standing around a football pitch for 90 minutes. It's not like they work really hard for it. Let's face it, most of them don't even have the passion for the game. Rugby players have passion, singing the national anthem at the top of their voices before every international game, whereas footballers have a look on them which says, let's get this over with. A few years ago, there was no doubt about footballers heading for their trophies. Now you might say money has become the ruler. It's what the players want, not the trophies, not the medals, not the parades around the city after cup wins, just plain and simple, it's the money. The money they get most definitely sets them up for life. But are they satisfied? No.
Well, I mean, once you get up to the top, the money is ridiculous, as everyone knows. I mean, I don't know how much David Beckham got when he went to America, but it was like over 100,000 a week, which is it's just stupid money, really. But at the same time, it is like a job where it is a job to them. And if you're working for a big company, then when you get up to the top, you are making millions a year. Do you know what I mean? So it's, in that sense, it's no different. But you know, you've got to be talented really to do it.
As I said, being a job now, on and off the pitch, they have to do things in the community, be role models, and also entertain as well, big crowds. And you're obviously working for a big club as well, which invests lots of money in you. So there's a lot of pressure on you.
Even though footballers have all the money, the majority of them don't play the game correctly. They cheat. By cheating, I mean diving. By diving, I mean falling over like they've just been shot when the opposition player barely touched them. So really, I should change it from players getting money for falling over for 90 minutes.
I think at the end of the day, it's part of the game nowadays, not so much as it used to, but I think now.
And then you get that player which he just falls over. You know, you haven't touched him, and he falls over. He gets a free kick, which they could score from. You know, the whole game could be ruined from that one bloke. He's not playing properly. It's just the most frustrating thing in the game.
If you feel like you can gain an advantage and get away with it, people do it. I mean, I'll do it myself. I got a penalty and we won 4-3. That's not a problem. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if it means winning, a lot of people take that. But a lot of people say, you see the odd person say, no, fair enough, I've dived there. But I think nowadays it's all part of it.
Footballers can kick footballs, obviously. We can kick a football, but what makes them better than all those university graduates who have worked hard to earn a decent living? The money footballers get in a week, those graduates only get in a year, if that. Some things need to be done about this. It's getting out of hand. Before you know it, players will be getting up to $250,000 a week. Clubs, the FA, FIFA, UEFA, whoever needs to realise that the money's becoming crazy and the players don't do enough to get the amount of money they earn.
You obviously see a lot of older players just doing it, just for the hell of it. I've seen people just doing it for the money. They don't enjoy it anymore. But the more clubs I go around, the younger players I see wanting to do it, and it's not about the money. It's about wanting to play in front of big crowds, playing big teams, and winning lots of trophies.
It's like the best of the players. They do better things more often consistently, and when you can do that, that's obviously when you start improving. You can get into the higher leagues. So that's sort of like the key to improving, I guess. Sort of the leagues below, because I know they're not you know, they haven't got that sort of talent and stuff, but they just really want to be there. Particularly the ones like on a Sunday morning, you know, it's freezing, it's snowing, and they're getting paid. You know, they're not getting paid anything to be there, but they'll still, you know what I mean, they'll put in there, do a job for the manager. And I don't know, I mean, I'd say I'm quite a passionate player myself, but only because, you know, I kind of work full time during the week to get there on the Saturday, do you know what I mean? It kind of pays for it. So in that sense, you think about what you've just done during the week, and so you really put it in for that 90 minutes kind of. I say that's where I get my passion from.
Footballers don't save lives, they don't teach and give people educations. Hopefully something can be done, otherwise it will leave a lot of football clubs in debt. Eventually, this will lead to smaller clubs being unable to keep up with the money for wages. It would be a shame should that happen, because it will spoil such a great sport.
So first, the big question: do footballers deserve the money they're getting? Keith?
Yeah, if you give my compliments to whoever did that piece, I've just listened to it. I probably disagree with 90% of that. I think that footballers at the top level deserve every penny they get. They are the best in the world. The only reason they're playing in our Premiership in the first place is because we pay the most money, which comes from television. And if you're the best at something in the whole world, you deserve to earn a lot of money. Players at our level don't earn anywhere near as much as that.
Okay, Mark, a different point of view?
Yeah, I appreciate where Keith's coming from that, but the situation now is that the industry can't sustain the amount of money that is needed to fund the game. You know, you've got 92 clubs in the professional leagues, and then, you know, it goes down to tier 9 in the non-league levels. So you know, there just isn't the money to go around, and with the credit crunch and the situation as it stands at the moment, it's going to get worse. And clubs are sort of mortgaging themselves to get the success. I'm connected with a club in the conference. They're spending probably, say, £10,000 to £15,000 a week on the wage bill, and that's at conference level. And they're getting gates of maybe 1,500 through the turnstiles. It's not sustainable.
So, as part of a wider issue, Mike, what would your perception be?
Well, I see it simply as supply and demand. There's a demand for what they do. They are the best in the world. You're right. They are the best in the world. That's why they're here. Money's coming in from all sources. We in this country, through our commercial and industrial system, have allowed foreign investors to come in and take over most of it. What's wrong with them taking over football? We've had Thai prime ministers, ex-Thai prime ministers. We've got the Abu Dhabi royal family. We've got controversial Americans in Liverpool and the Glaziers in Manchester taking over these places. They want to invest in it because they're big brands. My argument is, if they weren't worth the money, they wouldn't be paid the money. Now, that's not necessarily a conservative or right-wing point of view. It's simply that they give value for it. Now, I hear what you say about the lower leagues. Different thing entirely, I would suggest. They've always been impoverished, and the money was never going to go to them in the first place. They would carry it. They're going to be the ones supporting these, feeding through new players. And I don't know if this later leads on to the idea of the number of players in the Premiership. I think it might do, so perhaps we'll take that later. But at the moment, my own view is that while the money's coming in, and it's being supported by these hugely rich benefactors, let them take it.
Okay, thanks.